he said that. This thing is titled Facts and Jams, right? So check this out. Check this out. We're gonna jam again. We're seeing a lot of things on the news. And we've been trained to overlook our own common sense. We feel like every time a new fact arrives in favor of Trump, debunking previous notions about him, what I've noticed the left does, and those who hate Trump without a cause, really, they never know. They never have an actual solid answer why they hate Trump. They never know why he's so hateful, what exactly it is that they can point to, why they hate him so much, like he's like the worst guy in the world. Nobody can ever really point to it. And what I noticed, it really is that, for example, they started a campaign, a projection campaign, projecting their feelings on you, projecting their facial expressions on you. It's called PSYOP, psychological operation, and it's logical. You hear words like that and terms like that, and you think, oh, mind control, conspiracy theories. No, it's real. For example, sometimes when I watch something, I'm watching a movie or something, I'm so caught up in the movie that some guy's talking and he's like disgusted about something, like, and I can't believe this, disgusting, rotten, nasty. And while I'm watching, sometimes I catch myself making the same facial expressions. Like you're in the movie and you kind of feel the same expression he's making, you're making it too. And you start doing little muecas, they call it in Spanish. Little movements with your mouth and just following along to what you're seeing on the TV. And that's called projection. It works. It's real. It's not conspiracy theory. It's real. So what they do is they yell and scream and make emotional. They get emotional on TV, and all you see is that disgusted face of what they're making. You don't know why they're so disgusted. You don't know the meat behind it, but you follow that face. That face makes you feel disgusted too. You look at it and you copy it, and it rubs off on you. It's projected onto you to have that same face without actually knowing why you're so disgusted. They started this with, for example, Russia collusion. It turns out, I'm mind boggled how good and how strong and powerful the manipulation is, that a lot of people don't know that the Russia collusion hoax, for example, it's legitimately a hoax. It's proven beyond the reasonable doubt that Hillary Clinton paid for the Steele dossier that said Trump was peeing on girls in Moscow. She literally paid for Christopher Steele to write it. That's a fact. It's been settled in court. It's no question about it. It's undisputable. That dossier was used to create the Russia collusion investigation. That investigation cost, I think, between $25 and $33 million, and took 2 years, over 2 years. And the investigation concluded there was no collusion. Beyond a doubt, there was no single American, not even just Trump, not even a single American was found to have colluded with Russia in any way. Not any one of Trump's campaign, not Trump's son, not anyone. They couldn't find even a sliver of evidence that Trump colluded. Now remember, these are the people that have been in office for literally decades, like 40, 50, 60 years. These people have been in the game. Donald Trump just came in. What makes you think after all of these attacks and all of these powers, you got Facebook against them, you got Google against them, you got Twitter, you got everybody against them. All of the media, 90% of it is against Trump. How do you think this guy is so much more powerful than the media to actually be defeating them so much? Why is it that they can't get him? Because there isn't. They have to produce evidence, and they haven't been able to ever, forever. So first they put that in your head, Russia collusion. They also put the racism thing in your head. With the I use this one all the time because it's great when you just watch the clip. It's one of my favorite. Two of my favorites are when they said he called all Mexicans rapists. All you got to do is watch the clip. That's it. And if you have an honest just an honest, sincere heart, and you open your eyes and just hear what he said, he never, ever, 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 ever said all Mexicans are rapists. Never. Not ever in his entire life. Do we have any recording, any video, any evidence, any writing notes, anything that he ever said all Mexicans are rapists? In the clip that they're talking about, you watch it, and he says, Mexico, when they're sending us their people to come across the border, the people that they're sending us, the ones that are coming across the border illegally, they're not sending us their best. What they're sending us is their worst. They're sending us their rapists, their criminals, their murderers. Those are the ones they're sending out of their community. That's not all Mexicans. That's just the ones they're sending. The Mexican government is sending, getting rid of the bad stuff of their community and encouraging and allowing and enabling those bad ones, those murderers, those rapists, and those criminals to come across our border. And so they put that in your head as, oh, see, he's a racist. All Mexicans, they continue to this day. This is how you know how hardcore of liars they are, that they're continuing to say today. There's no ifs, ands, or buts around it. 100% guaranteed they know they're lying. There's no way they do not. I refuse to believe they think that they're mistaken and they're just mistakenly thinking. I don't believe that. I think they are legitimately and deliberately lying, and they absolutely know beyond the shadow of a doubt that they are lying. Also, when they said when he supposedly called white nationalists and white supremacists very fine people, all you have to do is watch the clip. So in the clip, he literally says in that clip right there, before and after he says it, he goes, not white nationalists, not white supremacists, because those should be condemned totally. He said those exact words, but there were people on both sides that were very fine people, meaning there were Democrats and there were Republicans that came to protest peacefully against what they believe is wrong. On both sides, Democrats and Republicans. Not, word for word what he said, not white nationalists and white supremacists, because those should be condemned totally. It is impossible for me to ever imagine in my mind that they are mistaken, that CNN, who repeats it till this day, ABC, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, the ones who repeat it till this day, I refuse to believe that they do not know that they are lying or that they are mistaken. I do not believe they're mistaken. I will never, ever, ever bring myself to believe that they just made a mistake and they really thought. No, they know they're lying 100%. So what they did was take those. They sowed the seed of racism in your heart. And they did it good. They boomed it on every channel, like religiously, nonstop. 90% of every minute that they reported for the entire last 4 years, 90%, this is an actual statistic, 90% of it was hate Trump. 90%, can you believe that? 90% of all of the news that you've been watching has been hate Trump, against Trump, anti-Trump. Can you believe that? So what I've seen people doing is they started with those claims. Oh, he called all Mexicans rapists. And then I know a lot of people who I've showed the evidence to that there's no way they can argue with me or conversate with me or have another word to say to me about it after they see the clip themselves, but they lean on, well, I've heard it for so many other things. So if this one ain't true, then the other one is. So they rest on the weight of maybe there's another one because they've been repeating it for so long. And if they've been repeating it for so long, and if you got Hollywood and Lady Gaga and Beyonce and Snoop Dogg shooting Donald Trump and Kathy Griffin holding up a head and all these people hate him so much, it can't just be a lie. It's a lie. And you keep thinking that there's something else to rest on. I guarantee you, I can put my everything on it. You will not be able to actually show me one legitimate claim of racism. The Central Park Five, those were actual, real, legitimate criminals. They were criminals before the incident of the Central Park Five. They were criminals. They, on that night, were beating other people in the park. And the cop who investigated them was black. So this was not a racial thing. Trump legitimately believed they committed a crime regardless of color. You can't just attach color to it just because, oh, there's a color this time and now you can use this to your favor. No, you can't. You think he's going to lay off? If he's racist, he would lay off of blacks just to appease everybody and just go on whites alone, just so he can look good. That's the card that the Democratic Party plays. Okay, so they were black. They happened to be black. What concerned Trump the most was the crime they committed. He's been about this his entire life. One of the things that I love about Donald Trump, that is like the most amazing thing to me, that you can't find with almost any politician, is that you can literally go down Trump's entire history from the 70s. Every video that is available of Trump that we've ever seen from his youngest years ever. This guy is not just the same guy. This guy is the exact same guy through and through. Everything about him is just the same. This guy has not changed. He has been preaching the exact same thing. He never flip-flops. He never changes. He is real to what he believes, and he's been that his whole life. Everything you hear him preaching today, he's been preaching his whole life. This guy hasn't changed. Unlike Hillary Clinton, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, all flip-flopping like panties over and over again on immigration, on homosexuality. One year they're completely and totally against same-sex marriage and they're fighting against it like animals, and then the next thing they're calling Donald Trump an animal because he's not as vocal as them for same-sex marriage and same-sex bathrooms. Not that he's completely against it, because he isn't. He has a ground in support of the LGBT community. And I'm okay with that too. But when you make it law of the land, like Sodom and Gomorrah, where they had literal idols of statues that they made to worship sex gods, having sex with animals and women with women, men with men, children, goats, all kinds of sexual worship. We're kind of seeing that today. When you make it law of the land, that's when God reacts. God loves every sinner all the same. We are all fall short, every one of us. But there's certain things where you make it law of the land. Now you're teaching and you're making it force for the entire nation to follow these abominations. So I just went on a tangent there, but they flip-flop. Hillary, Schumer, Pelosi, they have flip-flopped over and over again. It's every time perfectly convenient. They flip on serious matters that they were one way at one time and now they're another way in the future. Over and over again, like 4 or 5 times they go back and forth. Like today I'm anti-gun. Tomorrow I'm pro-gun. Today I'm anti-gun, tomorrow I'm pro-gun. Literally, there's videos of these people flip-flopping 4, 5, 6, 7 times throughout their career, completely changing their stances, like perfectly timed for everything. Donald Trump, you can't find that. You can't find that on him. That's what I freaking love about the guy. The guy is so real, so thorough, so through and through himself. He doesn't hold his tongue. He tells it like it is. Doesn't care if you're black, doesn't care if you're white. You think the biggest damage that has been done to Donald Trump's presidency is the claim of racism. And you think he's going to continue to feed? But he doesn't care. He would tell countries like Haiti that they're asshole countries because they are. A Haitian will tell you that. I say that all the time because it's another great example. Haitians will tell you that Haiti is a asshole country. Not Haitians. Not the people, not the culture, but the country and the government. It's garbage. Just like Dominican Republic. Beautiful, but garbage. So we have all of those claims and people lean on, you can hear all those claims. You'll hear the first one, Mexicans are rapists. And then I'll prove it to you that he never said that. And then you're like, okay, but there's another one. Okay, the very fine people, I'll prove it to you that he never ever said that. And then you'll rest on something else. You never let yourself settle because they've trained you. They've trained you to think that there's something else. And that if you've heard it enough, there must be something else. But I challenge you to find it, to actually find it for real. Something that you can look at and legitimately, sincerely sit down and say, okay, this is undeniably, there is no way around it. This is for certain races. It is the art of wordplay is one of the most powerful things. The art of choosing words so selectively to convince a crowd, to convince the masses of something. It's a play on words, and you have to be able to really legitimately look at something and say, is this real? I mean, it sounds compelling, but is this just wordplay? If you can do that sincerely, you'll be able to make serious and honest judgments. I care about the truth. I could give a damn about Trump. I just know that Trump aligns with everything I align with. Everything. And when Trump fails me, I'll fail him right away, instantly. I could give a damn about Trump. All I care about is the fact that this guy is doing what I've been waiting for all my life. He's giving me a platform, giving Christians a platform, giving us the right to speak and giving us a voice again. This guy's giving us a best economy again. This guy's giving the power into our hands again. Giving peace across the world again. I mean, this guy has accomplished things that no president has accomplished in history. He's broken record after record after record after record. I'm talking about some of the best accomplishments you've ever heard of in the entire history of this country and sometimes the history of the world. This guy has done some amazing, phenomenal things. And every accomplishment, they glaze over it. Like, oh, who cares? First, they said he was going to create nuclear war with North Korea, and he didn't do it. And he did something that no president was able to do. And he stepped foot on North Korea like no other president. Shook the hands of Kim Jong-un. And there's been no issues between us ever since. This guy created four or five peace deals in Israel. God said, I will bless those who bless you and curse those who curse you. He told that to the Jews. This is why we're so blessed. Why we're the greatest and freest country in the world. People dwell on some of our slave history and slave owners in our history. What people don't understand is that slavery was around for the history of the world since the beginning of time. All people were slaves of all colors and all cultures, all races. We had slavery forever. America was the first one to break that chain as successful as we did. We became the freest country in the history of the world. We're the first ones. But people don't understand that slavery was a system. And sometimes slavery wasn't always the beating of human beings and crimes against humanity. It wasn't always that. In some cases, slavery was just another word for employment. Right? And we were the first ones to break those chains. I've said this before. Out of the 50, the Declaration of Independence says, all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights to pursue life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. I messed it up a little bit, but the pursuit of happiness. All men. Do you know that all 56 members of Congress signed and agreed to that statement and said, yes, all men are created equal. Yes, I agree. Absolutely. Let's govern our country and make this one of the greatest documents to govern a nation in the history of the world. Let's make this our creed, our standard, our way of doing things, our foundation on this beautiful country of freedom as we break from the tyranny of King George III. This is what these people signed to. And what people don't understand is that it just doesn't snap a finger and you break the system that everything is built on in slavery. You have to dilute it and diminish it little by little. It's a process. And these 56 men who declared their independence from Great Britain, these 56 men agreed to that and began the process. There was some bad actors in the middle, but bro, we've gotten far as hell. We've gotten far as hell. So, we gotta wisen up. Right now, for example, we're going through this impeachment thing. we have to question everything. Why did they rush an impeachment so fast? Who does that? How do you just present an article of an impeachment and boom, the next day you actually pass it through the House? It actually goes through just like that. How do you do that? And why did they do that? With only how many days left? 6 days left till President Trump, till Joe Biden becomes president? Why are they rushing? Well, it turns out that the reason why they impeached him is because the claim is he incited the riot at the Capitol. Turns out CNN, #1 scumbag news station in the history of the freaking planet, who hates Trump, CNN had to write an article, I think today they wrote it, that now we are finding out that the riots were pre-planned with military-style tactics. Okay? People knew the inside of the building. Some are saying that there was a tour, that some of the politicians were giving tours to some random people before the 6th inside the Capitol, showing them around the building. So now we know they rushed this impeachment because they're trying to snap through it before the world finds out, or before there's time to prove the case that Donald Trump had nothing. If you just hear his speech also, he never said a single word to incite a riot. He was completely the opposite. We want peace, no violence, go there. We are the people of law and order. This is something that Trump says over and over and over and over again, but somehow we glaze over it. They've trained us to hear everything he says and look at the most ridiculous thing. Look, he's got boogers coming out of his nose. Look, look at his greasy face. Or look, he got orange tan. Look at the actual things he's saying. Nobody can pay attention anymore. Nobody can actually see and hear legitimately what's coming out of his mouth. Everybody's looking at the stupid things that make no difference any way or the other. They've trained you to be that stupid. So you owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to prove to yourself that you're not being fooled. I continue to believe that all of this needed to play out. All of this had to go this far so that all the crimes could be committed, because the world would never accept how just saying that these people were gonna steal an election, the type that would steal an election, or the type that would commit treason, or the type that would create a riot and plan it at a Capitol. It was necessary for them to be allowed to make it happen because the corruption is so deep and so crooked and so wicked and evil, actual evil, pure, unadulterated evil, that the world things had to play out. All the crimes had to be committed. I believe that Trump is about to flip this thing all around. I believe that if we're going to talk biblically, in many ways, I believe biblically, it's not time for this country, for the world, for this country to fall, because the Bible says that Jesus is not going to return until the last person, until the gospel is preached to the ends of the earth, until the last person that needs to be saved hears the message. The last human that needs to hear God's word or needs to turn to Jesus, it's not going to happen until then. And I'll tell you this, there's no other country or place on earth that has that platform, and no kind of people, no kind of government creed like our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence and our beginnings and how we started as a Christian nation. There's no other place on earth that will be that beacon of hope to the rest of the world. Once we're done, the rest of the world is done. We're going to doo-doo right away, immediately. We're going to go straight to garbage. And even more so with trash, garbage politicians that have never done anything for the country ever except against us, like Joe Biden. This guy is trash to the absolute core. This guy has not done nothing in 47 years, has not done a single good thing for this country. His accomplished nothing in 40 years, 47 years. This guy is literally, go through his history, garbage. He ran for president, had to stop, had to cancel his campaign because of plagiarism. Over and over and over again, this guy lied and used and stole people's scripts, stole speeches from other times in history over and over and over again. This guy lied about his education, lied about his degrees, over and over and over again throughout his history. This guy is total garbage, trash. And then he was trash. Now he's even more garbage. This guy can't get through a single sentence. He's the worst possible candidate to have ever run in the history of the United States. Nobody has ever run a more garbage campaign than Joe Biden. He literally ran the very worst campaign in all history. 250 years, presidents forever have ran rallies. They've rallied up the people. They've gone out to speak. This guy not only just on face value is trash and can't get a single sentence out, has no actual real policy that sticks to anybody for real. His whole demeanor is trash. And not only this guy ran a campaign from his freaking basement, bro. Every rally he had literally 12 people show up, in comparison to Trump's hundreds of thousands and even millions that show up for him. Actual millions. I've seen with my own eyes and felt the roar with my own body. What it feels like to be around 3 to 4 million people that support Trump and came all the way in a caravan from California to support this president. You've never seen that in the history of your freaking life. And you're going to tell me Joe Biden, who ran the sorriest and weakest campaign that has ever been run in the history of the United States of America, the sorriest and weakest, this guy got more votes than any president in history. This guy beat Barack Obama. This guy beat Barack Obama. Can you actually, truly, legitimately believe and tell me that you honestly believe that Joe Biden won more votes than Barack Obama running the sorriest, weakest, most trash campaign in the history of the United States of America, if even not the world? Who's ever run a more garbage campaign? Who? I can't even think of freaking as far back as Pharaoh or freaking Moses. Whoever ran such a trash campaign, and you're going to tell me this guy got the best results ever in the history of the world? This guy, garbage, Joe Biden, got the best results? People say, oh, they weren't voting for Joe. They were voting against Trump. I don't give a crap what you think. I don't care how hard you think people are voting against Trump. They didn't vote that hard to create to use the least resources ever to not animate people, to say racist comments after racist comments. You ain't black. African poor people are just as bright and just as smart as white people. Poor people are just as smart and just as bright as white people. Bro, this guy actually said real, legitimate racist things. He legitimately said it. Trump, on the other hand, they only made you believe he did. I can challenge you on it. I guarantee you, 100% you will not, I guarantee you, will not give me a racist comment from Trump in my comments. I guarantee it 100%. And the one that you think is, I will debunk it instantly. Just like the one where he said white nationalists and white supremacists are very fine people. Just like that. All you got to do is, okay, was this that? Okay, what could be the other thing? Legitimately think. Give Trump the credit more of being a man with no hair on his tongue, who's so transparent that he tweets as every thought. He has no fear. This guy, his shoulders are on properly. This guy never stutters, never stumbles, never nothing. He's so confident and so true to himself that this guy says what's on his mind freely. This is what we need as a president, but they taught you that you're supposed to hear pre-written presidential speeches, and you're supposed to play soccer and play with a dog and look nice and cute for the camera. Bro, man, I can't believe how dumb some people gotten, bro. We're not going to lose this election because God wins in the end. God wins in the end. So just think about all of these things. All right? Why are they rushing? Why is everything such a rush? Why is it that everything just fits like a glove? Donald Trump had the greatest economy in the history of our country. After he built everything has succeeded. He created peace with 4 peace deals with Israel. He created peace with North Korea. He got us the greatest economy in the history of our country. And just for those who say, oh no, it was Obama had 8 entire complete full years and he did not accomplish it. Don't tell me that after his 8 years, suddenly it starts to roll in. Even after Donald Trump made it a point to undo every piece of legislation and every act that Obama did as president. Trump undid it. He took all of it. He dismantled all of Obama's legacy completely. He completely dismantled it. Don't tell me that Obama's garbage presidency that did nothing for the black community, did nothing for our ghettos, and did nothing didn't change nothing. All he did was look pretty for you. That's all he did. He looked pretty for you on the camera. He played basketball. He was charming. He had a nice smile and cool composure, and you thought that that's what it was. I remember when Obama got elected. I had friends for days. One of the biggest comments that weren't just among friends was just a mass way of thinking that was on comedy skits, was on movies, was on talk shows, was on everybody's mouth. Was, I don't care if Obama's garbage. I don't care what policies he has. Just give me my first black president. That's it. He's black, and I'm voting for him. That's how you voted, and you thought that's all you needed, bro. The best thing that could have ever happened to this country, for me, was a black president. But Obama was not the one. And they knew that a black president is the perfect solution to do everything their itching evil hearts desire. All you got to do is follow the strategy of Margaret Sanger. We cannot allow the Negro population to know and find out that we intend to depopulate them. Margaret Sanger is the founder of Planned Parenthood. This is her strategy. And her strategy was, we need to get a black physician in order to convince the black community to come get abortions. If we get a black face, they'll buy the idea and they will abort their children and dilute their legacy, minimize their existence, all by themselves. It is a masterpiece, an absolute work of art. Here in New York, more black babies are aborted than born alive. And they taught you to champion that garbage. They taught you to be the face of your own death, you bunch of idiots. They taught you to be the face of your own damn death. For more babies aborted in New York, more black babies aborted in New York than are born alive. They taught your community above other communities. They taught your community and your men to be homosexuals. You know why? Because if abortion don't kill you, homosexuality won't make you produce either. Okay? Because no matter how much you think gender this and gender that, you just ain't gonna produce. I don't care what you think your penis is. It's not a vagina. It's not gonna spit out skeet. It's not. You're not gonna make no damn babies. So they taught you to be the face of your own demise. Okay? And they use stickers. They take a little sticker, a nice pretty little sticker. I love this one. They just take a sticker. Bam! Black Lives Matter on a bottle of bleach, and you think it's apple juice. That's it. All they needed was a sticker. Black Lives Matter. Yay, that's for us. That's us right there. Bro, don't be so foolish. Don't be so foolish. It is so necessary for the the continuance of their power to continue to divide us. It is necessary. Don't be so stupid to think that you're thinking too far. You're a conspiracy theorist. You're too dramatic, or you're thinking. No, man, just think, just for real. I mean, what are we? We've been here for 7,000 years. The way that we do war is divide and conquer. That's just the way we done things forever. Why the hell change it? Why do we got to change it? Divide and conquer. They need to divide us in order to conquer us. They need to continue the idea of blacks against whites, because if the people are not together, are not unified, if we don't stick like glue, we're confused. We won't stick together. We won't come together in one solid mind and in one accord and come and be the power above the government. The government is for us, not them, not us for them. You understand? We got to be able to click that through our brains. These people are more crooked than you could have ever imagined in your life. These people are more crooked than I have ever imagined. I've heard things through my past, like Illuminati and you know, the pyramids and all of this crap. I've never stuck to that garbage because I hate conspiracy theories. But legitimately right now, all the things that I've heard in my life don't compare to what I believe is true about Democrats right now. These people are so hardcore evil. Your heart will fail you if you found out. These people are seriously terrible people. You think Osama bin Laden was bad? You think Hitler was bad? You think any people or tyrant in the past was bad? Wait till you get a load of Democrats. These people have suits and ties, and they're in the seats of the most powerful government in the history of this world. They are sitting in the most powerful government in history. That's why they are so powerful. They have suits and ties, and they know how to compose themselves and show you a good face. That's why they're so evil. That's why they're so wicked. That's why they're so much worse than Osama bin Laden, so much worse than the Hitlers of our history. These people are seriously hardcore, thorough, through and through, absolute evil, garbage, scum of the earth. They deserve the pits of hell and the pits of it. I'm talking about the hottest places of hell is what these people deserve. So, here, let me show you something. Let me show you something.
Kill one of ours, it's time for us to kill one of yours. We got to rip Trump out of that office right over there and pull him out that Nah, we ain't about waiting until the next election. We about to go get that mother. I ain't about that I'm at the point where I'm ready to put these police in the grave. I'm at the point where I want to burn the White House down. If you kill one of ours, it's time for us to kill one of yours. We got to rip Trump out of that office right over there and pull him out that Nah, we ain't about.
So, there goes that. Now, that guy's BLM. And they have made us think that the storming of the Capitol was this huge, enormous, big deal. And, everybody's flabbergasted and their hearts are failing them. And everybody's like, oh my God, I can't believe they stormed the Capitol. This is what this scum Donald Trump has created. It's because of his racist rhetoric, blah, 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 blah. We literally had months, MONTH with an S, plural, of BLM and Antifa literally burning down buildings, trashing houses, trashing businesses, completely destroying their communities to the ground. I'm talking about hardcore destruction and actual lives lost. People killed in cold blood by BLM. Police officers killed in cold blood by BLM. Trump supporters killed and beaten to a pulp because they were Trump supporters specifically. Okay? And this storming of the Capitol where 5 people died, and all of those 5 people that died are all very questionable deaths. One guy committed suicide after he was arrested for it. A stand-up guy commits suicide. So, hold on, sorry, I hear something. Stand-up guy commits suicide. Oh, so yeah, that guy that you just saw on BLM, let me show you something else. The guy you just saw, that was BLM. John Sullivan, wearing a Trump hat. You know why he's wearing a Trump hat? He wants to storm the Capitol and make it Trump supporters that did it. He hates Trump passionately and actually wants to burn the White House down. He said it with his own mouth. He has a Trump hat on. Let me show you something else. He happens to be the guy who filmed Ashley Babbitt getting shot at the Capitol. That is interesting. He was in the Capitol. We have video footage of it. See if this is it.
Keep up to date with the Fox News app. Follow all races across the nation with real-time voter data. America is watching. Download the free Fox News app today.
And security was a major question mark after rioters broke in. Answers with...
These men and women were set up to fail.
To your point about...
Anyway, I can't find the video. It's going to take me too long. I don't want to put y'all waiting. So, he was at the Capitol right there where Ashley Babbitt, the one person who gets shot in the Capitol, and out of all people, John Sullivan is filming it. He's right there when it's happening. John Sullivan. Come on, bro. What a lot of people don't understand, it sounds like too grand of a scheme, too grand of a thing to it be possible. We're living in La La Land and we're conspiracy theorists. This is the most powerful country in the world, in the history of the world. And the United States presidency is the most coveted seat in all of history. The most desired position by all countries all over the earth is to take over that seat. It is not a wild thing to think that countries have been plotting on our takeover, like China and other countries in Iran who scream out death to America all the time. It is not too grand of a thing and too wild of a thing to consider that they have been positioning themselves into our government, into positions of power in our country, to tear us apart from within. We have politicians in our government that are bought by China. We actually know this now. We know, for example, Eric Swalwell was sleeping with an actual Chinese government spy, sleeping with her. And that same spy, Fang Fang, was sleeping with several politicians. We know that Dianne Feinstein, her secretary or her assistant, was a Chinese spy, and it's on paper. It's documented. We have facts around it. We know that so many politicians, for example, Mitch McConnell, Elaine Chao is his wife. She has ties to the Chinese government. People think this is too grand of a thing to imagine. It's not. These people are literally sleeping, literally actually sleeping with the enemy. And they know it. It's not a hard, crazy, wild thing to think about. These people have been plotting on our country for a long time. Donald Trump is the first president to be so bold and so straightforward to call them all out. He's the one who cannot be bought. He was a billionaire before he got into office. He was successful all of his life. And he dared to go against the most powerful companies, the most powerful people in government, the most powerful entities in the entire country. What kind of a plan for wealth or to enrich himself is that? To go against all of the companies and entities that would help you get rich. They try to make him out to be this guy who's trying to enrich the rich, to make the rich richer. Look up all the people, the richest people in the entire world. The richest richest people in the entire world. You're going to find an incredible, already done this by the way. You're going to find an incredible amount of Democrats. Actually, majority Democrats. They are the richest. If he's trying to enrich the rich, who more rich than Amazon? Who more rich than Facebook? Who more rich than Google? Who more rich than Apple? These are the biggest companies on the face and most powerful companies on the face of the planet. They are so powerful that they can be their own government. They have all our information everywhere we go, everything we like, everything we search, everything we buy, everything. They have all of those details, full, complete. Okay, they know what to sell us every time we say something on the phone or something. All of a sudden you see it pop up as an ad on Facebook. They are the most powerful and the most richest people in the world. Bill Gates. Is he enriching the rich? He's for the rich, but the rich, it's a masterpiece. What they're doing is they're that friend who steals something from you and helps you look for it. They are them. They label us what they are themselves. They label us what they are themselves. They are the rich. They are they are the violent. Okay, their party, there's actual video. Let's show you this video so you can see this damn video. This video is fantastic, but no, people look at it and overlook it. Like, okay, yeah, but that's that. They try to make excuses for it, but why do you? What is it? What's the spell that they have you on to make you overlook these very compelling videos? You'll never find videos like this from Trump. You'll never do it. You will never ever find videos like this of Trump, but you will of Democrats. Now let me show you.
I don't even know why there aren't uprisings all. I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a...
I just don't even know why there aren't uprisings all over the country. Maybe there will be.
People need to start taking to the streets. This is a dictator.
You know, there needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
Enemies of the state.
Show me where it says that protests are supposed to be polite and peaceful.
Do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless mom.
They go low, be kicked.
How do you resist the temptation to run up and wring her neck?
The biggest terror threat in this country is white men, most of them radicalized up to the right.
I thought you should have punched him in the face. I said, even if you lost, he insulted your wife.
Yes.
He down the escalator and called Mexicans rapists and murderers. He said, well, what do you think I should have done? I said, I think you should have punched him in the face and then gotten out of the race. You would have been a hero.
I'd like to punch him in the face. I said if we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him.
Punch some people in the face!
When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump, and that's a fact.
Bullet! Snoop Dogg.
Look, as his character is stabbed to death.
Stabbing Trump to death.
John Wilkes Booth when you need him.
Where's John Wilkes Booth, the guy who killed Abraham
I
Lincoln?
have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Blowing up the White House.
Missouri State Senator is under investigation by the Secret Service after saying she hopes President Trump is assassinated.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
And if you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome anymore, anywhere.
And Sadly, the domestic enemies to our voting system and our honoring our Constitution are right at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
They're not going to stop before Election Day in November, and they're not going to stop after Election Day. And that should be, everyone should take note of that.
They're not going to stop.
Levels. That this isn't, they're not going to let up, and they should not.
And they should not let up. They're not, BLM, all the riots, everything they're trashing, they're not going to let up, and they should not let up. That they should continue trashing things. We're the party. We're supposed to be the party. We're supposed to be the party of the violence. It's them, and it's been them the entire time. They have been beating Trump supporters to a pulp. I've gone to several Trump rallies, several. And every rally I go to, every single one I've gone to, the theme is always the same. We sing songs to God, literally. We literally have an hour, 2, 3 hours of preaching and singing songs to God and thanking God for our country and praying literal prayers, people bowing their head and praying, all colors, all races, all together. You can't tell me that it isn't. I marched with 5,000 black people in Washington, D.C. and went into the White House with those 5,000 black people from Brexit. I went there myself on the day that Donald Trump first showed his face after receiving COVID, after getting COVID and defeating COVID. I was there. You can't tell me that that we're racist and there's white supremacists. Bro, there's Latinos for Trump. There's women for Trump. There's Asians for Trump. There's blacks for Trump. You cannot tell me. You can't. You sit down behind a freaking screen and watch what they feed you, and I'm actually there. You people are full of it. Okay? You sit behind the screen and think you know with the little bit that they show you in that little screen, you think that's the big picture. No, you see the little picture through your little phone, you bunch of idiots. Snap out of it. Okay, because I'm there. And every time I go, I love the Million MAGA March. I went there and bro, it was absolute peaceful protesting without a single incident until nighttime when everybody scatters and people are separated. All of a sudden, Antifa shows up, literally with shields. Antifa and BLM. Okay, BLM, Black Lives Matter, which are a bunch of white kids, white with purple hair and tattoos on their faces and freaking ripped up clothes to make themselves look like they're hobos and like they're oppressed. They purposely dress oppressed and rip their clothes to look like they're beaten, oppressed. These people are trash people, garbage humans, bro. And they come out when the rallies are over and everybody's separated. They come out ready with brass knuckles, weapons, shields, ready to beat up Trump supporters. And they do. At every rally that I've gone, that's what happened. I went to the Million MAGA March. And let me tell you, that march had, according to what the park was able to calculate, we had at least 1.3 million people that went to the Million MAGA March. I saw a news segment on video where the reporter says, well, not quite the million march that Trump expected, but a few thousand. 1.3 million. The entire street from edge to edge was completely covered for blocks and blocks, full of 1.3 million Trump supporters. Don't tell me it's not true, because I was there and there's no question how many it was. All I got to do is calculate the square footage and see how far the amount of people went. So, and then they show clips zoomed in. They showed the top of the Freedom Plaza. They showed it before anybody got there, when a few people were getting there. They literally, in that clip, they showed that before it was full and said, oh, not really the million that Trump expected, but a few thousand. If they could do such a thing as so simple as that, you cannot believe a single word from their garbage mouths. They're liars. I've seen it with my own eyes that they are definitely 100% liars beyond the shadow of a doubt. Okay? You can't tell me I was at a rally and then they're going to say a few thousand and I saw with my own eyes more than 1 million. You can't tell me. I'm sorry. I can tell you beyond the shadow of a doubt from my own experience that there are liars. 100%, not 99, not 99.8, 100% they are liars. I watched with my own eyes and my own ears that they lie. So, what is it? What is it what's this spell that people are under? It's called a psychological operation. A psychological operation. They feed you, they project their emotion and their sentiment to you. They scream, they yell, oh my God, something's happening. Nothing is happening. You can't actually point to what it is. You just know that you're imitating the feeling and you're seeing the disgust on their faces, and that face impresses itself upon you, and you make the same face too. You don't know why you feel disgusted inside, but you know that they're disgusted and you are too now, but you don't know why. It's called psychological operation. And it's also Operation Mockingbird, where the news networks all repeat the same lines. You've seen the videos of literally like 100 news networks simultaneously repeating the exact words at the exact same time. Is it just reporting, or is there a memo sent out? A speech sent out to all of these networks? I think we're about to see a major slap in the face to some of the biggest dummies that I've encountered through these 4 years. A big slap in the face is coming. And if it doesn't, I'll tell you this for sure. I'm not just sticking to a team. I'm not just in it for my team and this is my side. I'm in it for the facts. I'm in it for what I believe. And whether Trump does turn this whole thing around and takes that seat, which I totally 100% fully believe, whether he does or not, what I stand for, what I stood for all these four years, is never leaving me, because I stood for truth. I know I love this country. I know that the idea that we're supposed to hate everybody and hate everything and hate, and that it's us that's hating, I'm not buying it. I got friends, bro, from my old school talking about, you're not one of us anymore. You stood with us, you mingled with us black folks for too long. You hid it amongst us for too long. You would have never been here had it not been for the blacks. You Hispanics have been hiding amongst us, and you whites are a bunch of crackers, and this is our land. Bro, I don't care if it's white or black. You're not exempt because you're black from being racist. Those comments are racist. The same thing you're talking so passionately about, you're a freaking racist, bro. You're a total hardcore, bigger racist than I've never honestly met a racist bigger, and I've met racists. I've met racists bigger than some of the black racists that I've met. A black person who's racist, they're racist as hell. Like, I'm talking about, they want death. They want people to bleed, and they want people completely done with. They want the entire white race to be eliminated from the face of the earth. I've met some super duper hardcore racist black folks. And don't ever tell me about me being racist. My daughter is black. Just so we could get that out the way. I was raised around nothing but Haitians. Nothing but Haitians. Okay? I could speak Haitian to you. Como ye, no me sé Sean. You know what I'm saying? I could speak a whole lot of it. I love Haitians. I love Mazos. I grew up around them. That's all I know. You can't tell me nothing about being racist just because I can call you out to your face. You, my friend, with all of this, you Hispanics have been amongst us for long enough. You need to die, and it's time for the tables to turn, and the world needs to get rid of the black devil. You guys are freaking super racist, dog. Like, damn, y'all racist. I've never heard of a KKK more racist than some of you black folks. Like, y'all serious hardcore racist, bro. So I've talked for a long time, bro, but sheesh, man, there's so much to talk about. Y'all need to snap out of it, because you think that just because they use you as the face of their advertisements, they use they use Black Lives Matter as the sticker for their causes, and now you're supposed to follow just because they label things in favor of what you like little shiny things like for a rat. Okay, they're just shiny things. For some reason, it goes past people's brains to imagine that they would use a label like Black Lives Matter to completely be against Black lives. Black Lives Matter is the most racist. They're worst. Black Lives Matter is worse for blacks than the KKK ever was. The KKK ever was. Ever. Black Lives Matter is so racist against blacks. It's the worst thing that could ever happen to blacks. Black Lives Matter, because they buy it because of that label, Black Lives Matter. But you go on their website, they're pushing Marxism, they're pushing homosexuality, they're pushing the breakup of the family. You guys, there's no need to be a family unit anymore. It's misogynist, and it's masculine, what is it, male toxicity, whatever the hell it's called, all these stupid terms, to the family unit. Abortion is what your thing is. This is what Black Lives Matter push. It's all against you. And somehow they've taught you, oh, but women's rights, my body, my choice. You hear those little terms and you think they're all sweet and cookie, but they're not. If it's my body, my choice, then I should be able to jump off a building without nobody trying to save me. I should be able to drive my car without a seatbelt. If I want to drive my car and go 500 miles per hour and fly through the window, don't tell me nothing. Don't send no cops on me. Don't give me no damn ticket. Don't, none of that. It's my body, my choice. And it sounds good. It sounds good, my body, my choice. And you guys run to it like a bunch of idiots. You run to little terms like that because it sounds good. No. It is against you. It is anti-productive. It is destroying the very legacy you think you're trying to maintain. And somehow you buy that it's for you, but it's not. Snap out of it. All right, let's see.